Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel Tomcat Stitchery. I'm Whitney and today I have a pattern release for you. It is the newest Itch to Stitch pattern. It's so good and I have to tell you about just everything that kind of fell into place with this pattern. Okay, so I was planning out my fall wardrobe via the capsule guide from the Everyday Style website, and I don't feel like I'm giving too much away, but one of the items on there is a pair of black overalls. And I was looking through, they're very on trend right now. I was kind of looking through, there was actually a pair of knit overalls, fleece ones that I was kind of looking at. I'm like, oh my gosh, those are getting ideas basically. But I'm like, God, a pair of knit overalls would be so comfortable, but you know, like I'd never even seen a pattern for that. You know, there's quite a few patterns for woven overalls and a few different leg styles and that kind of thing. Flash forward to a couple of weeks later. So I'm just like, well, I'm gonna wait on those anyway, just because, you know, we were still kind of in summer weather. And I get the notice from Kenneth, actually it was when we were testing the faux, which is what I'm wearing right now. And she mentioned that she was working on a pair of overalls, and I'm like, oh, perfect! You know, I'm wanting to make a pair of, not black, because I don't wear black, but navy overalls for my fall capsule wardrobe. And anyway, she sends it out, and this is the Varzim overalls, and it is a knit overall pattern. It was like all the capsule wardrobe gods came together, and everything meshed. So excited. I could not have clicked the tester form any quicker than, oh, sorry, they're cleaning up after dinner upstairs. Could not have clicked the tester form quick enough. So anyway, I'm going to show you my Varzim overalls first. I will pop up the line drawings here and talk a little bit about the pattern before I show you my version. Okay, so this is meant for stable knits without a lot of stretch, and I think it's between 10 and 15, or at least you need 10 to 15% stretch, because it could also be a stretch woven. I'll list it right here what the stretch percentage is that you need, because it can be a stable knit or a stretch woven, and then it's in the full size range, her full size range, which is like a 00 to a size 40, and I'll list the hip. Really, the hip measurement's the only one that's important on this pattern because the waist is very roomy, and obviously the bust, I mean, there's a front bib and a back bib, so I mean, there's not, you know, nothing going around, so you can accommodate for a large bust very easily. So really this is the hip measurement, that's the big one for picking your size on this one. Alright, so this features a tapered leg with like a jogger type leg with the cuff at the bottom. It has a myriad of pockets that you can put on this thing, and I've done all of the pocket options, but obviously you can leave off whatever pockets you want to leave off, but one of them is kind of a cargo pocket that's on the side, and I put those on because those are very on trend right now as well. You're seeing a lot of these skinnier or straight leg, I guess, leg with the cargo pockets, and you know, that's a very big thing. And because my body shape is I'm rectangle, I like to put things on my legs and hips to balance out my upper half. So, you know, some of you might not want to do that, to put things on your hips, or maybe you don't care, that's fine too. But I do like to put details on my lower half because it helps to balance out my larger bust, because I can look top heavy really easily. It features a drawstringed waist, which honestly, I mean, I put it on here. I mean, I did it because I had to for the pattern test, and I like it there. I think it's a cute little detail, but I will never wear it cinched into my waist. Mostly because that's just not my body shape. I could probably omit that drawstring altogether and it be, you know, just fine on me as well. Although I've noticed that people that have more of a pear shape, some of the testers are more of an hourglass shape, that it does look really nice when you can cinch that in to give yourself a waist. So if you've been avoiding overalls because you don't like that there's no waist definition, this might be an option for you. Let's see, there's a pocket on the top, and I thought about omitting that just because I don't a lot of times like to put pockets on my bust because it's larger, but you know, they're overalls, and I thought that's just an overall detail, or overall detail. So I decided I just put them all on. There's patch pockets on the front, patch pockets on the back, and then those cargo pockets. Let's see, then there's the drawstring, and then it has you using your standard overall clips, dungaree, however you want to call them, clips, and then, yeah, then you've got a snap on the cargo pocket, which you could also do a button and buttonhole if you wanted to, or you could even just sew a button on there and sew them closed, because, I mean, are you going to ever use them? Mine are functional, but you know, they wouldn't have to be if you didn't want them to be. And then you've got the grommets, but again, you could also use buttonholes. A lot of times patterns will have you using buttonholes instead of, you know, for drawstrings to pass through if you wanted to. So just, you know, quite a few different things, options that you can kind of customize this to be your own. Okay, let's talk about my pair. All right, now I know that I've said that I'm gonna start putting a mannequin next to me so that I can talk about things, but these are pants, and I don't have a mannequin that can wear pants, number one, and number two, I wanted to be able to really show you up close the details of this pattern, and I can't do that if it's on a mannequin. So, hopefully seeing it on my person will be enough to kind of see exactly as I walk you through these details. Okay, fabric. I'm sitting on the legs. Oh my gosh. Okay. I used a French terry. This is a Robert Kaufman French terry. And I got it on that fabric shopping trip that I took down to Southern Indiana. This came from the University of Sewing in Bloomington. It's in fact, I think it's the same fabric as the same, I bought like the evergreen color, I think, as well, before I went on the fabric trip from Style Maker. But it's the Robert Kaufman French terry. It's so nice. It's a cotton spandex blend. It feels, the softer side of the jersey just feels phenomenal. But then of course it's got the loop back because it's a French terry. Okay, this was the perfect fabric. And now I've got my dark overalls and I'm so excited to wear these. Okay, I've gone with like a brushed gold, kind of an antiqued gold hardware. I actually got the buckles. There is a link in the pattern that you can actually click on and it takes you to an Amazon site giving you an example of the type of buckles you can use. And I just bought those and it was a package of 3 different colors. There was a like this brass color, there was a nickel color, kind of like not a shiny one, like kind of like this, like a brush or a antiqued nickel kind of, and then like almost a black, which I guess would technically be an antique brass is what they call that. But there were 3 different finishes, so I can make more overalls. And it was only like $6, I think. But anyway, she does have that in the pattern. There's a link that's actually in the pattern when you buy it. I had grommets from my stash, and I actually used a gray drawstring that I just had also in my stash. They were actually for a pair of Hudsons for my son, but he doesn't like the drawstring, so I just had it sitting there in my stash. Okay, the pockets. So I've done the patch pockets. Navy is hard to photograph in film. So is black, but I've done the patch pockets, which are just kind of like your curved patch pockets. I've done quite a bit of top stitching, which I'll talk about how I constructed these in a second. I put the back pockets on the back. And then I did on both sides these kind of cargo side pockets. I will admit, by the time I was finished making all of these pockets, I was over the pockets. Because let's see, there's 1, 2, 3, 4 on the back, 5, 6, 7 pockets on this. And you know, and you're folding everything over and getting it pressed all nice. And this French terry wanted to curl a lot, which was really frustrating. So I was trying to just do 1 pocket at a time. Okay, front bib, back bib. And then the casing actually is a separate piece. So the casing gets top stitched. It gets sewn into the seam with the bib onto the pants. And then it gets top stitched here onto the bib top. And actually, because this is knit, so I did all of the top stitching on my sewing machine, my regular industrial, with a ballpoint needle at a 3mm stitch length, and had no problems whatsoever. Now, the major seams, so like the side seams of the pants, I'll turn it inside out so you can see. Attaching the cuffs that are there, that's the bottom, it's one of the cuffs. Bear with me a moment. I did all of those on the serger, so I did not sew those with the sewing machine first. I just did them on the serger. But all of my pockets I sewed on just with my sewing machine with a straight 3mm stitch length. And I actually totally didn't finish I mean, it's not that big of a deal because it won't fray because it's knit, but that just doesn't look very professional, does it? I totally forgot to serge the bottom of my facing for the front and for the back. I just got ahead of myself. But It's fine. It won't. I mean, no one's ever gonna see that but me. But I did remember to serge like the area that gets folded over for the whole side of the, I don't know, folks, what was going through my brain. This French terry sewed very well under the machine and through the serger. It's just a really nice beefy one. Again, the only beef that I had with it was that it was kind of curly. I was able to get my size, or oh, I haven't told you what size I made. I was able to get mine out of 2 yards of fabric. So I had 2 yards of this fabric and I was kind of holding my breath. These are still inside out, that I'd be able to get it out of that, and I was. Now, when I was, I'll talk about my size here in just a second, but when I was top stitching, let's turn it right side out again. Just want to make sure I show you guys all the bells and whistles here. When I was top stitching the casing for the drawstring onto the body, or to the bib, I didn't want, you know, knit stretches, obviously, and so it's sometimes can be very hard to not get bubbling or get it like shifting and like stretching out of place. So what I did was I folded over, she has you in the instructions folding over the side that's that is sewn, the top side here. Folding over the 3/8 of an inch, and then you sew the bottom side into the seam with the bib, and then, you know, you press everything, and then you flip it up and top stitch it. Well, I took some Wonder Under, which is like a double stick tape that you can buy, and stuck it along that seam line, and then when I was pressing my seam for the waist seam down, I pressed it down, and I actually top stitched it down, and I top stitched it on the pants section. Can you see that? Yeah. Just to keep that seam allowance down, and I think it looks very nice. And then I just pressed this in place with that double stick tape, and it sewed like a dream. I'm so glad that I did that. I think that could have been very frustrating. I hate unpicking. Unpicking it out of a knit can be annoying just because everything stretches so much, which is what you want to be wearing, but not necessarily when you're unpicking. So it worked beautifully. I'm so pleased with how that worked. So that's just kind of a little tip or trick. Okay, let's talk about, I just love these so much. I love these so much. Okay, I'm gonna put in footage of me actually wearing them now. All right, I made a size 8, which is what I normally make in itch to stitch patterns. This was no different, straight size 8, and then I shortened the legs 2 inches at the lengthen and shorten line. There's also a lengthen and shorten line at the rise of the pants, and a lot of times with her pants, I do have to take a little bit out of the rise. Oh, I'm having... Sorry. My wrist hits the button on my watch, and then it thinks I'm talking to it. One of the, sometimes I have to take out a little bit out of the rise out of her pants, and probably I could get away with taking a little bit out of the rise, but I have had bad things happen when I've made jumpsuits or overalls in the past and I take too much out of the rise, and then you go to like bend over and you like cut yourself in half with a wedgie. Like it may be fine standing, but the minute you try and sit or move, it's like you're being sawed in half. So I decided not to mess with that lengthen and shorten line at all, and you know, if it was a little roomy, great. I mean, these are kind of a jogger style bottom anyway, and I'm really pleased with it. I mean, you can shorten the way the buckles up here. I mean, they're meant to be adjustable, and so I, you know, can adjust them, you know, especially if you're shorter up through here, which I am, although a lot of times my boobs will eat up some of that length, but I just shortened it a little bit because at first I'm like, oh, I've got way too much in the rise. But honestly, I pulled them up a little bit, my straps up a little bit, and everything fell into place. I have a very high waist. I've talked about that before. So this drawstring is sitting at my actual natural waist. My natural waist sits right underneath my boobs. It's really, it's like right underneath my boobs. I have like, I mean, it is not much. My hip bone and the top of my hip bone and the bottom of my rib cage, I have about 1.5 inches difference. So that kind of gives you, I have a very short torso and a very high waist. So anyway, everything is now fitting where it's supposed to, and I think it looks great, and I'm not being cut in half when I sit down. It's very comfortable. I have them styled with my clogs, which you have just seen, which I think is a fun way to dress it up a little bit. I think these would also be really cute with booties. as we get into more winter weather, but of course also extremely cute with tennis shoes. I've got my white Cole Haan sneakers that I could definitely wear with these. Even a loafer would be really cute. I just think that they're, I don't know, and they're knit. You would think that that would make them more casual, but I don't know. There's something about that jogger leg, I don't know, that just makes it feel a little bit more elevated. I don't know. Quite a few of the testers made theirs in Ponte as well, and you know that I have been, buying a lot of, not a lot, but I've been buying some plaid, like Pontes and Scubas, and I think that would be really cute in these as well, to do a printed pair. But I just really wanted a dark solid pair because that is what I was hunting for in my wardrobe to begin with, and then everything fell into line. I just purchased this fabric and didn't know what I was going to use it for. I was waiting because I wanted to make a pair of dark overalls, and then this pattern was released and it all fell into place. I love these. And so cute, I think, with my little jacket, my cozy jacket that I made in the teal scuba. I think that will be really cute with them. I think even a longer cardigan, as you can kind of see right there, that red, which is the same fabric that I made my Arlington, my Love Notions Arlington out of. I also got another Harper cardigan out of that, which I will be showing you all soon. But I think that layered over top would be super cute. I think a collared shirt underneath these would be cute. Probably I'll be wearing a t-shirt just because it's easier to tuck in. You don't have as much extra floof. But even like a Rhapsody blouse, like a flowing woven blouse would be beautiful under these. That would actually be really good. Maybe I will put a Rhapsody underneath it and try it out. I don't know, I just feel like there's a lot of options here, and I'm very excited to try it out a little bit more with layering. Obviously layering, you have to take that off when you go to the bathroom, but because these are knit, I don't even have to undo this buckle to get them off because the straps will stretch enough for me just to push them over my shoulders, and then, I have to undo the drawstring for it to go over my hips, but just kind of a matter of shimming it down real quick. So actually they're really easy to get on and off, so I'm just a big fan. Anyway, guys, that is it. Those are my Varzim, I think I'm saying that word right. I'm sure it's a place. All of our patterns are named after places. Overalls, and it's on sale for the next week. All of her patterns are on sale for the first week of release, so if you're interested, I do have a link down below. It is an affiliate link, which means I do make a small commission if you purchase it from that link. No cost to you. It's a commission that I receive from Itch to Stitch. I want to be upfront about that just so you guys know. But yes, I do have a link to it down below. And go have a look at the website if you're not subscribed to the newsletter, and see what all the other testers are making, because there's a whole bunch of different body shapes that have made this pattern, and it looks so good on it. I mean, it's just a really cute pattern on so many of them. Okay, guys, that's all I have for today. I hope you've enjoyed this one, and I will see you next time. Bye.